But it's time for the next great British debate of the hour, and I'm asking, should charities face new guidelines for helping migrants? Now, because one charity, the Red Cross, a very respectable charity, I've given money to the Red Cross, I've done little charitable things to the Red Cross. Currently, they are funding travel for up to 1,000 relatives a year to join asylum seekers in the UK, part of a record 20,000 family reunion visas granted in the last year alone. But with housing shortages and rising pressure on public services, does this system need a stricter oversight? Supporters say reuniting families is a fundamental human right, and that the charities are simply stepping in where the system falls short. But what about the fundamental human rights of the people who live and work and pay taxes in this country, and indeed donate to charities like the Red Cross, who are struggling to get on housing ladders, who are struggling to even find somewhere to live? What about those people in this country? So for the Great British Debate this hour, I'm asking, should charities face new guidelines helping migrants in the UK? So joining me now, broadcaster and columnist Lizzie Cindy, and also political commentator Fahim Mohammed. And it's not just those charities, the Red Cross. It's Care for Calais, all these, what I see is aiding and abetting, although they're supposedly meant to be being charitable, but they are making things, maybe inadvertently, but they're making things more attractive and multiplying the problem. Lizzie Cindy.
No, I think there should be definitely new guidelines. Look, I've said this. We are bursting at the seams, Nana. We are not a charity. Let's put our own people first. That's what this government should be doing. And that's why we're seeing the protests like we're seeing, because people are looking at us as if we are a country that's a soft touch. Even Germany now is doing stricter rules and sending people back. And if you've committed a crime in their country and you are sent back to where you're from. And this is what we need to do. We need to get tougher, we need to get stronger. It's impacting our whole infrastructure, every aspect of our lives, from school, NHS, from everything, and we cannot keep going on like this. As I said, the data so far, we are up 56%, with boats coming over than we were this time last year. 49,000 since Starmer's been in power, and he said he was going to smash the gangs. All he's smashing are all the records with all these illegals and coming over, and no surprise that people are protesting. People are sick and tired of not being listened to.
Fahima, what do you make of this? Because even you must see that we have a big housing shortage, and going and getting people from other countries to bring to the UK to support people who've come here legally or illegally, it's too much. We don't have the space.
Well, for a Christian country, so-called, are we going to sort of differentiate who we help through the name of charity?
Yes.
It says, help thy neighbour. And I'm sorry, when it comes to charity, we should not discriminate who needs and who requires help. This charity is actually there to actually fill the gaps, as you said, and 1,000 is just 0.002% of UK's population. Now, at the end of the day, let's reintroduce statistics. 1.2 million on housing waiting list, 9,000 children in temporary accommodation. None is linked to the Red Cross policy. They are a British humanitarian body whose mandate is to reunify families, not a migration policy implementation. Their support does not create systemic issues.
How do you know that?
This has nothing to do with that.
Well, of course it does.
It's the failure of the Home Office, and especially the 28-day move-on deadline. Now, this is proven to push refugees into destitution within weeks. And at the end of the day, again, do we now discriminate? Oh, who are we going to give in charity? And again, these are not something that we should be talking about when it comes to charity registered, regulated, governing sort of bodies who are there to fill the void of the state. And this is really quite shocking, because
I'll tell you what's shocking. I will tell you what's shocking, seeing our veterans on the streets, looking at our own homeless people.
There's all types of charities out there. You can't pick on one.
And you know what? people are feeling that they are being felt like second-rate citizens in their own countries. They are not being helped. The charities shouldn't be doing this when with what's going on with our own people. The first order of any government is to look after its own people. And this is why we are seeing the protests. This is why we're seeing people distraught what's going on in their own towns, in their own villages. Yes, they are, because
rhetoric and narrative,
it's not,
which is
it is not rhetoric.
And taking away from vulnerable people who actually need this. It's humanitarian. It has got nothing to do with immigration, migration, or anything
what about
to do with that.
the sympathy? What about your sympathy for the people of this country that are sick and tired of what's going on? When there are hotels packed full of immigrants, hotels packed full of immigrants, like in my little village, where the schools are scared to walk past. We've seen what's gone on in Epping. Have you not seen? You're being like Keir Starmer and full of distractions and not answering the real question.
The police and attack the police in Epping. That's what I saw. That's what I saw.
Do you not understand the people of Epping? Because this is what's worrying about, sadly, people like you and this government.
The far right is jumping on the bandwagon. And at the end of the day, this is not the kind of time that we need to be talking in generalised terms. Let's get the statistics straight.
We are. I will tell you the statistics very happily, because 62% of Labour voters are now saying immigration is one of their major issues. We saw Martin Dolby yesterday in Sunderland, which is a Labour seat. And the people there are distraught with what's going on in their towns.
They're distraught because that's all we're talking about when there's so much more.
It's real life. We've got them there that are protesting. We're seeing them today.
Yeah,
you cannot deny that.
Because that's not the problem.
It is the problem.
Parliament.
There's fury. It's bubbling over.
Minister, those are the people on the top wearing suits with lots of money, and the ones that are disparity of the actually it's the top down.
What? You think people aren't angry when they see 1 million free healthcare passes issued?
No, they're unintelligent and they don't understand statistics and they don't understand what's happening economically.
My own friend has been waiting for years to get her operation and been cancelled because of the strikes.
That's got nothing to do with,
it is because
with the migration
because
or
they're being
immigrants.
put before their own people. Yes, they are.
They're not.
And that's why. That's why people are protesting. You have to read the room.
Well, look, you've talked about the policies and the failure of it, which is, of course, the failures of the policies of course, the Conservative government, who were a disaster, and then now the Labour Party, who are, again, an utter shambles. This is an embarrassment. Surely these charities need to be held to account, and there needs to be stricter control over what they can do, because in my view, I think a lot of them are either aiding and abetting. So I would say that Care for Calais, hanging out there, doing everything, helping everybody, whilst it is important to help people, there has to be a point where you have to go, hold on a minute, is what we're doing counterproductive to the people in this country? Like giving them the McCrib sheet of, this is what you need to say, this is what you need to do, this is where you need to go. Hold on a minute, these people have come from France.
Yeah, have a mobile, free dental, free healthcare, free hotel. Come on, when are they going to actually? You know, in France they've got tents. If we had tents, they wouldn't cross that Channel journey, would they? They wouldn't do that if they were coming to another tent.
It's sitting in this really nicely aircon studio and feeling the way you feel and all that dissent when you actually are faced with people, real humans who are actually in dire conditions. You would not turn your back if you had a real heart.
What about the poverty in this country?
The poverty in this country, there are also issues for that, but there are also charities for that, and a lot of that's due to the mental health crisis and the actual charities that were taken away for the last 10 years
but what
by
about,
Conservatives.
But let's address the question here, whether the Red Cross should be importing more people here to be with people who have come here, many by illegal means, we don't know how they got here, whatever, but is that really what needs to be happening here? Surely the Red Cross should be focusing on things. We know that we have a housing shortage. We know that we have a migrant crisis. But we know that we have a migrant crisis. Yes, but what we're saying is, should there be stricter rules? Then maybe some limiting.
Oh, don't help that one because they're from this country. Don't help that one because they're from there.
I don't care where they're from. I don't care where they're from.
It's help is needed, no matter what. Humans are humans.
No, I don't care where they're from. It is a numbers game, and there are houses. We have a shortage in this country, and I don't see why charities should be ignoring that just because they're charities and ignoring what is quite clear to me.
That's government responsibility.
No, but that's why I say they should regulate the charities.
Is, we are bursting at the seams. We cannot do this any longer. It's affecting every aspect of our lives, from schools to NHS, and I'm sorry, if you can't understand why people are protesting, you know, it is affecting their everyday life, and they're scared, and they're scared for them, and they're scared for their children.
Well, listen, I'll tell you what, if they live next door to you, Fahima, if there's one big camp next door to you, you saw Chris Worrell do a big 180 there when there was a potential for them to be moving to a hotel near him. The very charitable Chris Worrell was suddenly part of the protest. But listen, the Red Cross say, we know from our experience that bringing families back together makes an immense difference to people's lives. It helps people better integrate into communities and contributes to societies. Some people speak about it being the moment their lives truly restart. Yeah, that's all very great and that's wonderful, and we do agree in charity, but charity begins at home.